Happy morning, dear children. Welcome to Science Online class. In today's session, we are going to continue our learning on physical and chemical change. So let's get started with today's session with a quick recap of what we have already learned. So in our previous sessions, we have learned about reversible change, irreversible change, physical and chemical change. We have also discussed the examples of these changes. So what is reversible change? A change is said to be reversible when the opposite change can be brought about by reversing the conditions. And the common examples are the change in state of matter, and the change is said to be irreversible when the opposite change cannot be brought about by reversing the condition. And the common examples are the sugar changing into a black mass when we heat it, and the curdling of milk and the charring of sugar. They are all irreversible changes. And next we also studied about physical and chemical change. So what is physical change? A change in which no new substances are formed, and this change can be reversed by reversing the condition is called a physical change, whereas a chemical change is a change in which new substances are formed and which cannot be reversed by reversing the conditions. So in this video we are going to discuss few examples of chemical change and changes involving energy like endothermic and exothermic change. The most common example of a chemical change is burning of coal or wood. So coal contains a substance called as carbon. So when we burn coal, the carbon combine with oxygen to form a new substance called as carbon dioxide, which is a gas which is given out in air. And this change is irreversible. You cannot get back carbon and oxygen. So on being cooled, carbon dioxide does not give back carbon and oxygen. Hence, burning of coal is a chemical change. Children, you can turn your books to page number 13. So next example which we are going to discuss is rusting. So let's see what happens in rusting. When a piece of iron is left in moist air for some time. So you know what is moist air? Moist means wet. Okay, so moist means wet or presence of water content in it. So when a piece of iron is left in moist or wet air for some time, a red brown solid is deposited over it. So when you leave a piece of iron in a moist air and when you look at it after some time, what happened? You could see the red rust on it. So this process of formation of rust is called the rusting. When you scrape off the rust and reverse the conditions, the rust formed cannot change back to the piece of iron because this change is a irreversible change. Hence we call rusting as a chemical change. So next is cooking of food. The taste of vegetables and pulses change once they are cooked, and new substances are also formed, and by reversing the condition we cannot obtain the green vegetables back from the cooked vegetables. So cooking is also a chemical change. Next is curdling of milk. So when milk is curdled, a new substance called curd is formed which is of different tastes, and we cannot get back the milk from the curd. So this change is a irreversible change. Other examples of chemical change are boiling of an egg. So where you can see that when egg is boiled, the liquid get hardened, and the hard mass they look different from the original thick liquid, and this change cannot be reversed by reversing the condition. Hence it is a chemical change. And digestion is also chemical change. Fermentation is a process which happens because of the presence of enzymes, and the sugar solution change into alcohol with the help of these enzymes, and this process is called as fermentation. Carbon dioxide is also formed in this process and is given out as gas. So as a result, because of the carbon dioxide formed, a froth is formed which makes the liquid appear as if it is boiling. So this process is known as fermentation. So we generally use this process for the preparation of alcohol from sugar, and it is also a irreversible process in which new substances are formed. Therefore it is a chemical change. And next is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis again is the change is irreversible and new substance are formed here, so it is a chemical change. Next is respiration. So in respiration, what happens is oxygen of the air combines with glucose, which is formed in our body. As a result, new substances like carbon dioxide and water are formed, and this change is not reversible. Therefore it is a chemical change. Next, let's see about the change of mass in a chemical change. So whenever substances undergo a chemical change, the mass is altered. For example, when we burn carbon, the amount of carbon is reduced and finally the carbon disappears or vanishes, because all the carbon, it gets converted to carbon dioxide. So hence it vanishes. On the other hand, an iron nail is allowed to rust. So the mass of rusted nail will be more than the mass of the original nail, because all the original nail, when it is exposed to moist air, it gets converted into rusted nail. So you must remember that the total mass of substance taking part and formed in the change remains the same. This is because if there is a loss in the mass, there must be an equal gain in the mass somewhere else. So you can go through the differences between the physical and chemical change, which is given in the tabular column. Physical change is temporary, whereas chemical change is permanent. A physical change is reversible, whereas a chemical change is irreversible. Third, no new substances are formed in physical change, whereas new substances are formed in chemical change. Fourth, in physical change, the mass of the substance doesn't change, whereas in chemical change, the mass alters or changes. Next is endothermic and exothermic change. So whenever there is a change happening, where either it is a physical or a chemical change, energy is either taken in or given out by a substance which is undergoing a change. So the energy change usually involve heat. So a change in which heat is evolved means given out, is called as exothermic change. So exo means out, thermic means heat. So heat is given out, so it is exothermic. And change in which heat is absorbed is called as endothermic. So endo means inside, thermic means heat. So heat is absorbed inside or taken inside. So it is called as endothermic change. So now let's see few examples for these change. First is change in state. So energy changes are absorbed during a change in state. So what happens when a solid melt? The solid has to be heated in order to melt. So what happens is solid absorbs heat in order to melt. For example, ice, iron, sulfur, etc. they all absorb heat in order to melt. Similarly, the liquid also absorbs heat in order to change into vapor. So on being cooled, the gases and vapors, they form liquid. So in all these processes, the heat is given out. Next, let's see how energy change happens in the process of dissolution. So many substances give out heat, whereas some substance absorb heat while dissolving the substance in the solute in a solvent. So when you put some glucose on your tongue, so you feel a chill sensation in your tongue. So this is because when the glucose dissolve in the moisture of the tongue, the glucose absorbs heat from the tongue, so your tongue feels the cooling effect. Similarly, when you dissolve ammonium chloride in water, the whole solution cools down. Again, cooling takes place because ammonium chloride absorbs the heat from the water while dissolving in it. On the other hand, when you add bathroom acid to water, heat is given out. So the dissolution of glucose, ammonium chloride in water is a endothermic process, whereas the dissolution of bathroom acid in water is a exothermic process. And lastly, let's see few examples of energy change happening in a chemical change. So all chemical change involve a change in energy. So first let's see about burning, then slaking of lime and photosynthesis. So during burning, when we burn coal or wood, heat or light is given out. So when we lit a matchstick, you can see that light is emitted out or given out. So burning is a exothermic process. And slaking of lime, so like quick lime, exothermically they react with water. So we call this reaction as exothermic because the water added starts boiling. So when we add lime to water, the water will start boiling. When a very small amount of water is added, the water quickly vaporizes out with a hissing sound. And when large amount of water is added, then it forms a white paste of slaked lime. So this process is called as slaking of lime. So we could see that exothermic reaction happens where lots of heat is given out. And next is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis in green plants take place only in the presence of sunlight. So only when there is sunlight, photosynthesis takes place. And photosynthesis happens with the help of a green pigment which is called as chlorophyll, which is present in the leaves, and these pigment will absorb the solar energy or the sunlight, and it helps the plant to produce glucose and oxygen from water and carbon dioxide. So photosynthesis is a very good example of endothermic reaction where the solar energy is absorbed in order to produce glucose and oxygen. So children, in this session we have discussed the examples of chemical change, endothermic and exothermic change. And now it's time for you to complete your assignments. Thank you children. Have a nice day.